Welcome back to another video about Bangkok. If you're new to this series, we made a first video talking about the great things about Bangkok. Second video, we talked about the bad things about Bangkok. And this third and final video, we're going to talk about the ugly things about Bangkok that I've noticed on my recent trip that I just came back from. I just want to talk about these issues that really most people have not noticed until recently. I really love Bangkok. I really want Bangkok to succeed. I want the Thai people to be successful. But there are some problems that I've noticed that have really changed the landscape of Thailand in general that I think will affect a lot of what will happen in the future. So for example, I think more and more people will not want to travel to Thailand because of these issues. And a lot of these problems that are occurring inside of Thailand, particularly Bangkok, will be something that the people themselves need to fix or change, or it will get worse. So it's good to talk about these problems. They are ugly problems, but the only way to solve a problem is to address it first. And that's why I want to make this video. So I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm not here to insult or criticize, but I'm here to offer feedback, and hopefully you guys can relate or add your own thoughts and opinions to this discussion. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, so the first ugly thing about Bangkok that I noticed is the Airbnb situation. Airbnb is illegal in Thailand now, so you cannot stay at someone else's place for less than 30 days. And how do I know this? It's posted everywhere. Every place that I stay at, every condo that I see nowadays, in the front lobby, there's a giant billboard that says no Airbnb. You will go to jail. Every condo now has this giant billboard in the front lobby. And I've spoken to a lot of people that say, yep, it's getting bad. And some people have been caught staying at places for less than 30 days. But for me, this doesn't affect me because I usually book an apartment for 2 to 3 or 4 months in Thailand. That's not my problem, but I can feel for the tourists that are on a budget that want to travel to Thailand. They want to stay for less than a month, probably, maybe like a 2-week vacation. They're going to have a hard time saving money because they're going to have to book a hotel. I've spoken to several people that are involved in Airbnb businesses, and they say that, yeah, their business is dropping and they're trying to sell their apartments that they bought, and they're just trying to move on to another business because they're not making money. The last Airbnb that I stayed at, I had so many problems with the condo itself. I mean, I described it in a previous video that I was fighting with the Airbnb host, this Chinese host, that the shower drain didn't work and the bathroom kept flooding and she didn't fix it, and she kept entering my apartment when I wasn't there. And I went through this whole fight online with Airbnb support, and guess what? Airbnb support has still not solved or resolved this issue. They've done nothing so far, and it's been several weeks. I can say that based on this recent experience with Airbnb, I'm done with that company. I mean, they don't do anything. They don't solve any problems. They just want your money, and that's it. They're just talkers. Seriously, I'm sick of Airbnb. The next trip that I go on, I'm going to probably have to resort to booking a hotel or stay at a hostel or rent an apartment in Thailand. And the minimum contract you can get nowadays is like 6 months. You can rent month per month if you stay at a residence, but those are booked pretty fast. I mean, I went around town looking for residences to stay at, and a lot of them are booked fast. If you want to stay long term, 6 or 1 year contract in Thailand is the way to go. But you got to deal with real estate agents, you got to deal with deposits, you got to deal with you losing money in the end because they find ways to take money out or take your money. It's a giant hassle living in Thailand long term. Consider this when you're going to live in Thailand. The second ugly thing about Bangkok that I noticed is the rising cost of living. Everything's getting more expensive in Bangkok. Seriously. Prices have gone up. Like rental prices have gone up. I've noticed in neighborhoods that I've stayed at previously. What concerns me is how locals deal with this rising cost of living. I know what kind of salaries they make. They don't make a lot. And if prices for like movie tickets or renting a condo or eating out in a restaurant are very expensive, how do they deal with it? That's what I want to know. And I'm guessing the locals aren't too happy. For example, the price of coffee is the same as back home in Canada. So the question is, I thought I came here to save money. It's getting tighter and tighter. The Thai baht is getting stronger and stronger for some strange reason. Yeah, the price of anything that you buy is going up and up and up. You know, I hesitate on purchases now in Thailand, whether it's buying clothes or eating in a restaurant. Or originally, most of us come here to save money because we can't save money as much compared to back home in our home countries. So it's really affecting the landscape. I can see that the local people aren't too happy. They're probably working more hours. You got to watch what you spend. And that was never the case for me when I was in Bangkok, like 3-4 years ago. So it sucks. And, you know, I noticed this in other countries. So, for example, Korea. When I was living in Korea, the prices were going up and up. And guess what happened? People started staying home more and more. So instead of going to the movies, they would watch like movies at home. Instead of going to restaurants, they would start learning how to cook at home. In Korea, cooking shows are very popular nowadays because young people, they can't afford to eat out. So they want to learn how to save money by cooking at home. You know, I can feel it. The rising cost of living is affecting everybody, whether you're a foreigner or a local. The third ugly thing about Bangkok that I've noticed are the tourists. The tourists are getting worse and worse. I've noticed a lot of bagpackers. Do you know what bagpacker is? A bagpacker is basically a foreigner or a tourist that runs out of money. So for example, I saw like bagpackers sitting on the side of the road selling their trinkets or holding up signs saying they ran out of money. They need money for a flight home. This is just so sad. And I saw like Thai people like staring at them. Like some people were taking photos of these bagpackers. It's really embarrassing to see this. You know, as a foreigner myself living in Thailand, this is just unacceptable. I can't stand seeing foreigners act or be this way in front of the locals. This is just, get your shit together. Don't come to Thailand if you don't bring enough money or if you don't plan things out properly. This has to do with the rising cost of living, probably. Also, I've noticed a huge spike in Chinese tourists. Chinese tourists are the #1 tourists in Thailand now. They're everywhere. And how do I know this? Every mall I go to, I see Chinese tourists. The condo that I stayed in recently on my recent trip, there were Chinese families everywhere. Chinese families. And what do? They play in the pool. And I couldn't get a swim in because these families were just like frolicking around, playing, goofing off in the waters. They're shouting Mandarin and they just being rude to everybody. I felt like I was living in a Chinese condo. Like I heard more Mandarin than Thai being spoken. All right. So whoever said that Chinese tourism in Thailand is dropping, no, I didn't feel it. I know there was that incident where a lot of Chinese tourists died on a boat and then Chinese government said don't go to Thailand anymore. I sense that there are way more Chinese tourists than there ought to be. They're very rude to the Thai people and I feel bad for Thai locals that have to deal with them because Thai people are very tolerable. They're the most tolerant people on this planet. They accept everybody, whether you're a bagpacker or a Chinese tourist or a loud American or like a drunk Aussie. And I've seen all of these ugly tourists, these degenerates, who are just so disrespectful to the Thai people. For example, I saw 4 Aussie guys walking without their shirts on around the condo complex. And that's just very rude. That's very disrespectful in Thai culture, taking your shirt off and walking around in public. The problem with tourists is that they don't adapt. They just do whatever they want. They're selfish. They're me. They're selfie, shopping, buy, go this place, go that place, Instagram, Facebook it. It's all about them. Have some common sense. Be respectful to the Thai culture and to the Thai people. Do you know how many English-speaking foreigners I saw, or Korean foreigners, or Chinese foreigners, talk down to Thai people? Thai people, you know, their main language is Thai. It's not English. We all know that. They can't speak very good English. And it pains me to hear foreigners talk down to the Thais by speaking really fast English, very aggressive English. They have no patience for Thais that try to speak English to the best that they can, but they have a very heavy accent. It's a very difficult accent to understand. I'm an ESL instructor, taught for many years, but Thais, when they speak English, oh my God, they have a very, very difficult accent that I cannot just comprehend. As a tourist, they're impatient, really impatient. They expect the 5-star English treatment, and when they don't get it, they throw a tantrum in front of everyone in public. And that's what I can't stand. People talking down to Thais. All these tourists, they're not really respectful to the Thais, and I'd like to see something change from this. The fourth ugly thing about Bangkok that I notice is the smartphone addiction. Holy cow. Thai people are really, really addicted to social media now. Everywhere I went, I noticed people glued to their smartphones, walking with their smartphones, staring into their smartphone screens. And what are they looking at? They're looking at their Facebook. They're looking at their Instagram, looking down into their smartphones everywhere you go. A Thai person cannot have a conversation with another Thai person without holding their smartphone, looking down at their smartphone. You see like couples everywhere in a public restaurant, and what are they doing? They're both looking at their smartphones, facing each other. In Canada, yeah, I see this trend with younger people, like walking around with their smartphones, texting or looking at their screens, whatever. But in Thailand, it's a whole nother level. The addiction is just insane. Like, you cannot have any more conversations with people in public because everyone's quiet, everyone stares at their screen, and everyone is not aware of everyone else. So this is just very disturbing for me because I'm a very outgoing person. I like to talk to people. And I had a hard time just having a normal conversation with people, whether they're Thais or even foreigners. And foreigners, they adapt this bad behavior as well. They're just glued to their smartphones, Because Thailand is such a beautiful place. There's so much exciting things to look, to see, do, and experience. But everybody looks so bored and miserable and depressed and angry and pissed off and looking in their smartphones. And I think the reason has to do with the tourists, the rising cost of living, just the overtime, more work they have to do to keep up. I can sense that the Thais, they're not very happy and they find their smartphones the only way to escape all of this. I can sense it, It's the reason why people zone out on TV or drink alcohol or whatever, right? The poison of choice in Thailand is definitely the smartphone. It's accessible. It's right in front of you. It's cheap. Everybody has it. Everyone can afford a smartphone nowadays. My God. Yeah. I came to a beautiful country to talk to people, see things, do things, and all I see around me are zombies. And the fifth and final ugly thing about Bangkok that I've noticed is the disconnection. And, like I said, this is all interconnected. The rising cost of living, people working more, people getting more depressed, people glued to their smartphones. But on top of that, I can see the effect and how bad it is. For example, when I try to make friends in Thailand, the first question they ask me is, where you from? They want to know which country I'm from so they can size me up, of course. But the second question they always ask me is how long you stay. Do you work here? They ask me that question because they get so many tourists coming and going. Sex tourists, people that just ravage Thailand and just leave and just break people's hearts. The scams are growing higher and higher. I just feel like nobody trusts anybody in Thailand anymore. That's how bad the disconnection is. Nobody trusts anybody. When I was walking around in Thailand, the moment I landed, I felt very anxious. Like I had people like from behind waiting to stab me in the back. When's the next person who's going to scam me going to be like? It's a never-ending stress that I felt. And I've had problem after problem after problem, and I had to deal with each and every one of them. I mentioned them in the previous video, and I had only good intentions, make friends or to date girls or network. I just felt this disconnection. People don't trust anybody. It's very hard as a single guy to date a Thai girl or to find a good Thai girl, in my opinion. It takes a long time for it to work. Everyone's out for themselves. They screw each other over. And they do it with a smile on their face, that genuine Thai smile. You don't know what they're thinking behind that smile. You don't know what their real intentions are. And most of the time, their real intentions is to use you as an ATM machine to take your money. Whatever you budget, times that budget by 3, because you will lose a lot of money thanks to scams, thanks to shit happening, things that you did not plan for. It will happen in Thailand. Believe me, it's a wild adventure. It's fun, but it's very dangerous at the same time. So don't be surprised if you get scammed. Don't be surprised if you get cheated. Don't be surprised if people lie to you. Don't be surprised if people just use you as an ATM machine or use you to benefit themselves. Yeah, and you don't understand this until you marry a Thai or you've lived there for several years. And it's not just me saying this. This is like locals and expats and people that I've met along the way that have told me this. Do I love Thailand? Yes, I love Bangkok. I want to go back next winter, of course. I love so many things about Bangkok. It's very exciting over there. But I know my limits. I know that I cannot live there long term. I would go crazy. I would lose so much money. I would get screwed over. That's the double-edged sword when it comes to Thailand. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below. And I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching. My name's Justin. Bye-bye.